The biggest mistakes men make while flirting on dating sites. Today we will talk about that. Hello everyone, it's Nastya. So first of all, it's your good intention to send all your good photos and all your photos from all your travels, from all your steps of your life, your muscles, probably your good physical form, where to present that you are rich, some of your achievements in life. So all photos in one message just to impress her. But I can say that it will scare this girl, and she won't know what to answer to you, just to say that you're a really good boy or something like that. So I can say that in this case you should understand that you will scary. It will be really awkward situation when you want this girl to answer you something on all your photos in all situations. So you shouldn't do that. You should only send her from probably some of your photos, and then send one by one, probably separate this collection of your photos for some days, just not to scare this girl with this amount of photos. The second thing, and it is very important to get confused with the information about girls with whom you communicate if they are numerous. And it's really a very bizarre situation from real life when you communicate with several girls, for example, on a dating site, and then you forgot to whom this information corresponds, and you start mixing all this information, and it's really very unpleasant for a girl, and it's awkward for you. That's why, at least if these girls are numerous, 1, 2, 3 or plus, you should at least do some notes, do some list of these informations, not to get confused and not to be in such an unpleasant situation. The next thing is that you shouldn't lie, you never should lie about your interest and about your past. So probably it's the worst thing, because all this absence of common interest with this girl will be seen in future, and it will be a really bizarre situation when it reveals and all information about your past. If you lie, it will also be revealed, and in this case this girl will not trust you anymore, and this conversation will finish sooner or later. The next and also important thing is to, even with good intentions, invite this girl to your country immediately. So from the first messages you just write her, oh, come with me, come to my native city, native country, you should leave all your relatives, parents, friends, workplace, etc., etc., just to live with me. So probably even you have good intentions, it will scare this girl, because it's a very serious and important step, and she won't do this, and she will only be scared. And even with good intentions, don't do that. You should wait till at least your first meeting in real life, probably, to invite, to offer to her just to live with you, probably, because if you start doing this the first message, it looks really strange. And the next thing is to talk only about this girl, and make compliments, say that she's beautiful, she's wonderful, etc. And don't say something about yourself, about your life, your interest, your some places that you visited. It doesn't matter. But if you say something only about this particular girl, she will think probably that all these compliments aren't sincere, because you hide something from her, some information that you don't want to tell her, some private information about you, and that's why she won't continue this conversation. And also one important thing is not to talk vice versa only about you, about your personality, that you are beautiful, that you are rich, etc., etc. So it will also be unpleasant for this woman, because she will think that you are not interested in her and that you are an egoist, and this trait of character isn't really nice for any girl, and for Russian Ukrainian girls also. That's why you should think and about you and about her, and interchange this information, not talk only about her or only about you. Also, it's a really interesting thing. French name this type of conversation de tout et de rien. It means talk about all and about nothing at the same time. So it's abstract topics, general topics, weather, politics, something like that. And in this case, this girl will think that you are not interested in her personality in particular, or that it's your lack of general probably education, or it's the lack of serious intentions when you just, we can say, waste time to talk only about something abstract with her, just to what? Just to have some sexual relationships, or what, as I've discussed in my previous video. So in this case, yes, abstract topics are also important, but when you talk only about something in general and not you two, yes, as a future couple probably, it means that probably you do not have some serious intentions for her, and you only try to say at least something, yes, to continue and maintain this conversation. Also, when you just start to flirt with the girl on dating site, when you start to talk about your previous achievements, romantic achievements, some your ex-girlfriends, some experience on dating sites, some of your probably wives or friends who are women. So it's really very unpleasant for a Russian Ukrainian girl, because she obviously knows that you had some romantic experience in the past, but for her it's not so interesting, and from the first messages, when you probably boast, or when you only tell her some of this information, it will be really unpleasant. And at the same time, you shouldn't touch some intimate and too private topics about this particular girl. Probably it won't be interesting for her to, from the first message, tell you all about her family, her problems, her private life, etc. So you shouldn't talk about all these intimate and private things from the very first messages. But also, if you shouldn't be so serious, you vice versa shouldn't be a very funny guy who tells all the time these vulgar jokes as with your best friend, yes, man best friend, obviously. So you shouldn't forget that it is a girl, that she doesn't know you, that she is naive, that she is very sensible, she is emotional, and probably these jokes, these vulgar jokes, your funny emotions won't be pleasant for her, and she won't know what to respond to you. She won't know how to react, how to say something, because probably she doesn't like these vulgar jokes. So you shouldn't be too straightforward, too as with your best friend, probably, at least from the first message. And probably for me, personally, the worst thing is to show off, to boast, and to compare yourself with other men, with other foreign men, with other men from your country, with other Russian and Ukrainian men, etc. So this girl will do some conclusions about you sooner or later, but you shouldn't say something like, I am more rich than the Russian Ukrainian man, I am very beautiful, the most beautiful person from my native country. I exaggerate, of course, but you shouldn't compare yourself. This girl will understand who are you after some moments of conversation. You shouldn't show off about something physical, about something that you are rich, etc., and compare. You should only maintain this conversation and she will do conclusions herself. So the main thing that I wanted to tell you is before this conversation you should think what is unpleasant for you during the conversation, yes, from the girl, for example, and vice versa, think what will be unpleasant for this girl, because girls are also human beings as you are, and in this case you should only think first before write or do something, just not to regret in future that these relationships failed because of your not thinking but doing first, and that's all, not something special in this case. And also I wanted to ask you to write some comments after watching this video. Probably you had already some situations when you did some of these mistakes that I mentioned in this video, and probably you are not agree with my statements. Probably it's not a mistake, probably it was a success for you, or probably also you had some experience of the mistake of a girl on a dating site. It will also be interesting to see these mistakes from the point of view, from the man point of view, from your point of view about girls. So it will be really interesting for me to read these comments. So for today that's all. I thank you for your attention. If you still have some questions, you can ask me on my Facebook profile, on my email address. Subscribe to my channel not to miss some interesting information and the next videos, and see you soon.